Hello everybody, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition, and today we figured we'd bring you a review of Sheriff of Nottingham, and this is the second edition by CMON. Now this is, what is it? It's a 4 to 6 player game. It says it takes about 60 minutes. I feel like it took a little under, to be honest, but it says the box says it takes about 60 minutes, and it's for ages 14 plus. Right, always got to check. And that's the fun thing, because they usually should say it on the side of the box somewhere, right? So there we go. Get all your information on the box. It's always frustrating when they don't give it to you. But anyways, so I'm pulling on my own cord. So this game is the second edition of Sheriffs of Nottingham, right? I can't remember now off the top of my head who did the original version of the first edition, but CMON decided to produce it again, got the rights to it, and they've put it out. This is a very much loved game. So let's go ahead and jump into this review. I do have my notes. I have them thrown over here to the side. I guess I could have kind of just thrown them up on the corner. You guys want to know, I just slyly look to the side like you guys don't know I'm doing this. All right, so let's go through these notes to keep it quick, but yet I'm rambling. So the theme of the game, right? Shenanigans in the time of Robin Hood is what I would say. But what's going on in the game is that you're trying to sneak goods into the market so you can sell them and become the most successful merchant in Nottingham. But you have to get them past the sheriff. And he's out to look for the goods, not necessarily to bust you, but to make his own pockets fatter, right? Now the mechanics of the game are set collection and social deduction, and I'll explain that here really quick. So everyone has a handful of cards, and if you want to know how to play, you can check out our how to play that I put up. So I was thinking about it for a second. Did I put it up? Yes, I put up the how to play. You have a handful of cards, and you're trying to get, or goods if you want to look at it that way, and you're trying to get them into your stand so you can sell them. Now, any blue-rimmed cards, these are legal goods, right? You can get those in. And any of the red ones, these are contraband, like mead. What other contraband? They have lots of mead and some silk. These are contraband. And this is just the base, playing the base game from the box. So you're trying to sneak this stuff in. And the reason I say set collection is you're thinking about how many chickens you have, how many apples you have, how much bread you have, how much cheese you have compared to the other players sitting at the table, because you also at the end of the game get extra points for having the most apples, being the apple king or the apple queen, the chicken king or queen, bread and cheese, all those. So you're also trying to manage what you get in here. That's where I talk about the set collection. I guess I was saying hand management there. Set collection. You're trying to get not groups of cards in, right? And in some ways, you're trying to manage those groups of cards. Now, you also have these. You have the contraband. Here's some pepper that you're trying to sneak in. And this is where the social deduction comes in. You have this little bag, and you're trying to, without anybody seeing, I mean, everybody does it at the same time, but you kind of look through your cards. You get to put up to 5 of them into the little bag. You put the cards in, you hand them to the sheriff, and you say, I have, I don't know, let's say 5 chickens. I'm just trying to carry my 5 chickens to market like normal, right? Now in there, you might have 5 chickens. You might only have 2 chickens and some cheese. I don't know if you guys can see that if I'm turning them all the way. Some cheese and some meat. You might actually have that in there, and you're trying to get it past the sheriff. And every player takes their turn as sheriff. And so as sheriff, the social deduction part, I guess, kind of comes in because you're deciding whose bags to inspect. Now, it can be based on a whole bunch of stuff. You think they're ahead of you. You want to slow them down a little bit. You want to make a little extra cash in your pocket. You've made promises to other players at the game, and you decided you're going to be, I guess, a good sheriff in that way and keep those promises, right? And you have to decide whose bag you're going to look at and whose bag you're not going to look at. You can look at everybody's bag, you can look at nobody's, but there's a social deduction because you're looking around the table and you're trying to figure out who's lying and who's telling the truth. And I definitely believe that the social deduction is where the fun comes into the game. Now, I tend to be someone who's not a big fan of lying in games like Coup and One Night Werewolf. But I do like One Night Werewolf and I do like Coup, and there's ways to play it where you don't necessarily have to lie. In this game, it seems like you have to lie. If you have certain things, you have to get into market, and so in some ways you have to lie. But it's okay because you're kind of part of the merry men, and that's what you're supposed to do because the sheriff is just being corrupt anyways, right? It's kind of take some of the weight off of you for the lying. In my sense, if you're someone who loves to lie and get one over on everybody and it's fun, there you go. It's already up your alley. But how this is set up where there's certain things you can't tell the truth about, you have to lie if you put them in your bag. You want to put them in your bag and to get them to your market. There's a fun aspect, a light-hearted lie. I usually like to say fibbing, like a small lie, but it's kind of light-hearted. You're trying to, did you buy me any Christmas presents? No. Right? You're fibbing. It's kind of that. And then and through the playthroughs, I found that when someone gets caught lying, like you didn't say you had that contraband, you got it past the sheriff, because one person isn't always the sheriff, maybe two, there is a element of, oh, you sneaky little SOB. I'm going to keep my eye on you, and everybody at the table just kind of laughs, right? So the mechanics, how it works in the social deduction, it's not everyone like One Night Werewolf, everyone trying to figure out who the werewolf is. It's not like Coup in some ways. We're trying to be very cutthroat with everybody so you can be the last one standing. Because everybody's the sheriff at different times. Everyone does, depending on the game setup, it's 2 rounds as sheriff, and it depends depending on how many people and what you're using from the game and stuff like that. But we can just say everyone plays the sheriff 2 rounds. So you get to be the merchants and the sheriff trying to catch the merchants. You get to go on both sides. So I think that lightens that whole lying aspect that comes out of the social deduction games. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit more, I guess, in a bit. But let's keep going on. Let's go ease of play. It's very simple. You have cards. You're putting them in your bag. You're giving them to the sheriff. He's either checking or not. If he's checking, you have the chance to bribe him, or you don't bribe him. On your turn, you are the sheriff. You don't do any of the putting stuff in bags, but you are checking other people coming in the gate. There's a chance to make money. Maybe they'll give you some of their chickens in their stand, or the chickens that they have put in their bag if you just let their bag pass, right? And you make money, or you get more goods based on that. Right? It's that on the basic level, it's that simple, right? So the ease of teaching is pretty easy. You explain to people what you can do. I'm not going to go through it all. Like I said, we have a how to play. But you just tell people certain colors you have to lie about. Reds you always have to lie about. You have to tell the truth about at least one thing that's in your bag. And you can lie about the quantity. I can say I have 3 cheese and put this in my bag, right? So, and I would have to lie about 2. I couldn't say I have meat, right? It's just that simple. It's a very easy game to teach. It's an easy game to play. I would say this definitely goes into the party game category. It's a lighter, fun game. Well, all games are fun, but it's a lighter game that multiple people can play. And I think in party games, part of that is the ease of playing, the ease of teaching, right? All right. So replayability. I think there's a lot of replayability. You guys can see this stack of cards here, right? These are the cards that you go through while playing the game. It gives you different sets of goods that you're trying to get into Nottingham, into your markets. So there's chickens, there's cheese, there's bread, there's apples, and then contraband. And then there's the royal goods, I think it's called, which is just a variant on the goods you already have. So there isn't a whole bunch of different things that come in, but there is a whole stack of cards here. And as I found playing, some people might actually have 5 apples that they can put in their bag and get past the sheriff, right? And then sometimes there's a chance that you have all contraband and you're like, oh God, how am I going to do this? there's not a strategy, necessarily a set strategy that I'm walking to this game and I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this, and I win. That's not there. I mean, I think because that's not there, the replayability gets put in there. I say there's good replayability in this game. Production value. The trying to see if I have any in reach. I don't. The stall stands are decent cardboard. Oh, I guess I can use the cards. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but it's a pretty thick cardboard for the coins and for your stalls. The cards are decent quality cards, right? The art, right? There's great art. I like the art in this one. The original one's art was really good. This art feels similar to the original, but it's slightly different, right? And then you have these cloth bags. The one thing I would say about the cloth bags is I always tell people when they play this version of it, don't worry about snapping it closed because it's a pain to open it. And there's no reinforcement in here. And I assume this cloth would tear through. Like I can see light coming through the cloth, right? I assume it would tear. So I always tell people, just fold it over, hand it to me. Or whoever's the sheriff. Don't worry about snapping it. So I wish those were a little more durable considering what you have to do. Or just get rid of the buttons. You really don't need the buttons on there. But beyond that, the production value is really good. I am going to pick up the box over here. Here's the manual. Here's the guide. It's not very long. You've got a setup on the back which tells you cards that will be in the deck depending on how many people and stuff like that. So you do get a quick guide back there. But I'm gonna have to do it without trying not to spill everything. But there's inserts, and if you guys watch my videos, you know that I like inserts. Some people don't. Take them all out, just chuck everything in the box, shake it up, bang it. Welcome to Broken Token, right? But it comes with an insert that divides everything up really nicely. So I think the production of the game overall is a really good production, right? There are like the little bags, like I said, and things like that. But overall, a really good production. And then for the value, this is a $39 game, MSRP. So if you want to go buy it off the shelf, you're buying it for $40. Once again, this is part of the Black Friday. I'm still trying to get through all the Black Friday stuff. This was one of those Black Friday buys. You can find it for discounted at certain places. I think when I was checking MSRP, I did see it at big box store like Target. I don't know if I don't go on Target all the time, but I don't know if I remember seeing it there. But MSRP is $40, $39.99. For $40, especially if you're looking at having a party game where everybody's gonna laugh and have fun, I think this is a game and it's worth your money in that. And I think you can play this game with people that are new to the hobby. Maybe they don't board game that often. You can bring this game in. It's simple, yet I still think it's really fun. The laughing is in, like I said, that social deduction, that, you little scamp, you got one over on me, I'm gonna watch you next time. Or, yeah, this person Green has a whole bunch of stuff at their stand, we better slow them down. Yeah, I won't look at Red's bag and make sure I look at Green. I agree with Red, we need to slow them down. And then you find out Red's sneaking stuff in on you and you're like, I knew you were. I knew something was up, right? And it's just fun. It's a fun game that's easy for people to understand, and it plays large numbers, and I think that goes into the idea of the party game. So overall, would I play this game again? Yes. The art is great. The ease of play is there. The fun aspect of just goofy fun, because they're all fun. Let's say goofy fun. Maybe I should start putting modifiers on these verbs. Let's say goofy fun, right? Well, it's not a verb. Fun's not a verb. But let's go ahead and say goofy fun, right? And I feel like there's a lot of goofy fun. Playing through it, there's been a lot of laughs and giggles, and like I said, the finger wagging, like, you got one over on me, but I'm gonna watch you next time. And it makes it really fun. So I would play it again. I would ask to play this game again because I find it fun. And like with most games, the best thing to do is see where it fits in with your gaming group and your gaming group and when you're playing, right? It says an hour, like I said on the box. I feel like it's a little bit under an hour. It might be an hour teaching and everything, and you might think about how you set that in. But overall, I think it's a good game, right? So the negatives, I don't really like going so much in the negatives, but it is kind of the bag. I wish they were a little thicker. But beyond that, the card stock's fine. I do like linen cards, but I'm assuming they cost more. The card stock, even for these cards, are fine. So overall, I would say check it out. At least play it if you get a chance. I do think it's quite fun, but I like Robin Hood and things like that. So, all right, that is our review of Sheriff of Nottingham, the second edition by CMON Games. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. See you later, everybody. Bye.